I just realized as I started recording this.
Apparently we're single today.
On Army Reddit, r/Army, there's a trending story about how Tim Kennedy lied and stole Valor in his book, Scars and Stripes. And I happened to have been on the team that was marketing that book when it came out.
This whole episode is about naughty boys. He was just found guilty. The number one question online is, why is he not in jail? Why is he only being ordered to pay $250,000, and why is he not in jail?
We need a new name for controversies. We need a less ambiguous.
Offensive human?
My favorite subreddit is unsubscribed subreddit. Their subreddit is off the chain. There's a trope in action movies where the protagonists never have to reload. They're just shooting. They never run out of ammo.
If you're so fed up with it, then just turn it off.
Or you're just tired of people like me.
I'm tired of people like you.
Welcome back once again to your favorite show, the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast. I am Andrew. This is Nona, my beautiful wife, and I'm not wearing my ring. I just realized as I started recording this.
Apparently we're single today.
Do you have yours on?
Yes, I do.
Ooh. Mine's right over there. I can see it. That counts, right?
No, that doesn't count.
So today, Nona, we're talking about some things, little recap on some stuff in the past, a little bit of some new stuff that just came out. Conor McGregor, talking a little bit about that. And I didn't realize how long that ordeal's been going on for. Did you know?
I literally just heard about it like 2 days ago.
It's been going on for 6 years apparently.
I know.
It's wild.
But it's because it occurred and is transpiring in Ireland, correct? And
yeah, something like that.
so I think that's kind of why we're not hearing about it here.
He's a big enough star that probably people knew, and it just wasn't really a talking point. But
his team is really well paid and did a really good job of suppressing it.
No, because nobody has acted like this is actually new news. Nobody's been like, oh my God, how did he keep it undercover for 6 years? It's like, we've been reporting on this. You haven't been paying attention, but here's the next update, is how everything I've read.
Again, literally heard about it for the first time 2 days ago.
Gotcha. So we got that. We got an update on Mike Glover, and just about an hour, maybe 2 hours ago or so, we're recording this Tuesday, the 26th. This will come out on Monday, the 2nd of December. On Army Reddit, r/Army, there's a trending story, and I haven't read the news article yet, but I did open it up, about how Tim Kennedy lied and stole Valor in his book, Scars and Stripes. And I happened to have been on the team that was marketing that book when it came out.
So this whole episode is about naughty boys.
Yeah.
Naughty
Maybe some other stuff
boys.
that comes up too. So let's talk about the Conor McGregor thing real quick, or I guess for a minute. So all I did was type in his name. I didn't type in anything else that goes along. I didn't realize he was younger than me. He's 7 months younger than me. Interesting.
I
don't know why I thought he was older. So,
what is your honest opinion as to his wife standing by him this entire time?
Is that this Dee Devlin woman? Mm-hmm.
They've been married since 2008, but this occurred 6 years ago, and he is still with her, and she is still standing by his side.
Okay, so
what is your honest opinion on that?
So this is, I don't know all the details, but my first broad assumption is that this is similar to the Glover case, where his significant other, whatever she technically legally is, doesn't seem to be his actual wife. And Kay did go back and look, and he did say he made a mistake that there is no common law marriage in Utah. So we were right initially, and then we were confused by mixed information about it, but there is no common law marriage in Utah.
Right. I thought we said that on the podcast.
We did, and it might have been commentary, something like that. It might have even just been in comments somewhere. But just to make that clear, there's no common law marriage in Utah.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
To the best of everybody's knowledge, legally they are not married. But she's stood by him-ish, publicly at least.
Just like Conor McGregor's wife.
But so I pulled up a bunch of articles here. One of them actually was kind of funny because it's the name of the show or podcast that was reporting on it. It's like a Yahoo. Yeah. So it's MMA Junkie Overreaction Time. And so I thought it was saying everybody was overreacting before I opened it up and realized that it was the name of the show. Like, oh, you're overreacting. Here's what really happened. But no, it's just the name of the show, apparently.
Gotcha.
It's the first time I've ever seen it. I don't consume very much MMA content. Mm-hmm. I mean, with few exception, I don't really know anybody that even fights in the UFC anymore. I mean, we are having 2 days after this episode comes out, we're having John Salter and his wife over. He fought in UFC and Bellator.
Okay.
Yeah. Possibly some other guys following that because there's 3 or 4 of them that go to my old gym. So we'll see how that goes. John's good people. His wife's good people. So that should be a good one.
It'll be my first time meeting them.
So that'll probably come out, since that's next Wednesday, that'll probably come out earliest the following Monday. Was that the 9th? So watch out for that one. And Tim fought in the UFC as well. So I know a lot of people that fought in the UFC. And here's me, not a fighter.
In a ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
So overreaction time on Conor McGregor's new low, John Jones pound for pound status and more. John Jones is like notoriously one of the best fighters, but also...
And just like Mike Glover, there's a huge following of people who are standing for Conor McGregor. And there's also a lot of people who are falling out and unfollowing and pushing for his social media to be like taken down. For the sake of argument here, his wife is standing with him, so nobody else really has a leg to stand on. Was this, obviously we don't know any of these international laws for these other countries or municipalities, states, territories, whatever you want to call it, wherever he was living or wherever it occurred at the time. So we don't know what they're allowed to do with or without her pressing charges. We don't know anything about their laws at all. He was just found guilty.
I know, but we don't... What I'm saying is we don't know what their laws are to say, do they need her to give testimony or do we just need enough evidence and then run with it on our own, like how the state did with Mike after his girlfriend retracted her statement. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay, what?
Did you pull up the transcripts at all for the court case and
possibly.
see what he did?
No, I haven't read any of it. I'm learning about all of this for the first time. So I'm telling you what I'm speculating.
Gotcha.
It's not any way factual. There's no reason for you to be getting offended about it. I'm just saying
I'm not offended.
So this is what I think.
In no way am I offended,
Okay.
Andrew.
Okay. I'm, as an outsider looking in, reading the headlines and skimming through some of this, I'm making connections between the two. So I don't know if we have full transcripts. Ex-flight attendant spills the tea on Conor McGregor's Vegas trip. Okay. Didn't he, was it that show there was like a UFC show. I don't know if this is still going on where they would bring in potential future stars. It was like a reality show where you go through like training camp with the biggest names in the sport at the time. They have like elimination fights.
I have no knowledge of this show.
UFC reality show. The Ultimate Fighter is what it was called. 32 seasons. What? Okay. Anyways. So I believe it was in The Ultimate Fighter. He did something like on a bus, like threw something at somebody or started a fight with somebody. Like he's kind of, well, and his nickname is Notorious. He's kind of notorious for these public fights.
Conor McGregor is?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him. I do think it's really ironic that Jake Paul said that he wanted to fight Conor McGregor when apparently this was occurring in Ireland because it said it was a 12-day long trial and that was within that time span.
Well, you don't always have to be present for your trial. It depends on what you negotiate and if you're even testifying. So, this article from MMA Junkie, McGregor issues statement on sexual assault, civil trial loss. I should have shut the party down. I expressed remorse in the wake of the jury determining that he raped a woman. Probably couldn't say that word. So YouTube, I'm reading a news article. Please stop it with the nonsense. McGregor's comments, which he shared in a written post on X, came just 3 days after he lost the civil case in Dublin. A 12-day trial concluded with the jury finding McGregor liable for assaulting Nikita Hand after a night of partying in December 2018. The jury's verdict included damages of approximately $250,000 awarded to Hand. In the immediate aftermath, McGregor vowed to appeal the jury's decision, and on Monday, he reiterated the intention while saying he regrets cheating on his longtime fiancée, Dee Devlin, who is also the mother of his 4 children. So they're not even married?
I didn't know that. I thought they were.
Interesting. Longtime fiancé. 4 children, so at least 6 years. At least the entire duration, if not even farther back. I saw
when you put it up on Google, it said they'd been together since 2008.
Is that in here?
Go up.
Oh, there it is right there, yeah. Partner, Dee Devlin, 2008. So some of the comments that I saw and the rhetoric that I saw were people saying, oh, she was with him when he was homeless and this and that, and he should treat her better. Yeah, but what does her being with him when neither of them had money have to do with any of that? He just shouldn't have cheated on her at all, even if they were both rich to begin with, even if they were both from middle-class families, even if they were both poor to begin with, or one or the other. None of that even matters. That's such a dumb thing to say.
It's a dumb thing to say, calling it cheating when you assaulted somebody. It's completely negating what occurred. And taking zero responsibility.
It's still cheating. He still cheated on her. But I guess it's technically not adultery because they're not married.
He's claiming that it was consensual, though, is the problem. So he's continuing that rhetoric.
So he did cheat. So what did you see in the transcripts?
That he and a fellow fighter, both took turns on this person, and this person had to have her tampon surgically removed from her because it was so embedded in her body.
All right. Just 1 second. Dogs are barking. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. It's the wonderful life of having 3 exciting and excitable little doggies. Very bark. So going back to the McGregor stuff, I was skimming through. It seems like, okay, let me ask you this from a business/investor perspective, right?
Okay.
Only one brand so far has officially dropped him, and it's a video game company that makes the game called Hitman.
Only one? That's not what I saw.
TMZ said one, maybe at the time of writing. So UFC and Dana White have not issued an official statement. There hasn't been any other real backlash. I don't want to say not real backlash, but typically you see companies will say we're waiting for all of the information to come out, or we have no comment at this time, or something along those lines. But the majority of his projects, he kind of, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like he funds them himself. Like his boxing promotion, that seems to be, because he's the face of it at least, it seems to be he is, and his personality is the money backing that promotion.
Okay.
I could be wrong. He's got his Irish whiskey that's really bad. I don't remember what it's called now.
Right, and it says that they will no longer use Conor McGregor's name or image on the drink, on proper number 12 whiskey.
But doesn't he own the company?
Well, they are removing themselves from him. Proximo Spirits bought the whiskey brand from McGregor in 2021, but have continued to promote him on there. And because of this,
so
they're distancing themselves from him.
That's a totally different story then. That makes sense.
BWG food groups also are removing him.
Who are they?
Tesco is removing him. These are all big companies who have been backing him.
Tesco's like an investment company or something like that, right?
Right. So you said one. I knew it was more than one. So that's what I was pulling up.
Well, I'm should have engaged.
And this is all coming out, hours after the verdict.
So it's the MMA Junkie article, which came out last night, is where I read that. Reiterated, he regrets cheating on his longtime fiance. People want to hear from me. I needed time. I knew I made a mistake 6 years ago. Should have never responded. Blah, blah, blah. Have these, whatever he's talking about, whatever he was responding to, is this like social media or text or calls, or have you seen anything regarding what he's saying he responded to?
No, he put out a statement on November 25th, 2024 on Twitter.
Right.
That's his official statement on the matter.
But he's saying that he should have never responded to her outreaches. What were her outreaches?
I don't know. And this was from 6 years ago, obviously.
Right.
So she probably, I don't know, I'm speculating here. She probably reached out to either him directly or his team to say, this occurred, obviously, and I will be pursuing.
Yeah, so see, they're right here saying, as of writing, which was yesterday, UFC and Dana White have remained silent. No other brands associated with McGregor outside of IO Interactive have dropped McGregor. So they wrote that a little too early. They should come back and edit their article.
So the number one question online is, why is he not in jail? Why is he only being ordered to pay $250,000, and why is he not in jail? That's the number one question online.
So that's part of
the number two question is, why is she still with him?
Saying he will return to training because the fight game awaits. Yeah, I'm sure it awaits for you at home too. No, that's what I was stating at the beginning, that we don't know their laws and policies and whatever else. Like, there could be a situation in which, paying a higher fine keeps you out of prison. Maybe the fine would have been smaller if he did prison time.
Conor McGregor will not face jail time despite losing his sexual assault civil case, where he was accused of raping a woman in Dublin hotel back in 2018. The UFC star has been wrapped up in legal drama for the better part of 2 weeks after Nikita Hand claimed he left her brutally R-word and battered. I'm saying that correctly, that I'm not supposed to actually say it, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Following an event at the Beacon Hotel nearly 6 years ago, found liable for assaulting Miss Hand, McGregor is now ordered to pay her over £200 in damages, as determined by the jury consisting of 8 women and 4 men. Despite the outcome, McGregor won't be imprisoned since the trial was civil and not criminal, after Ireland's Director of Public Prosecution decided against filing criminal charges against him. So that is the reason why. So as long as he pays that,
then there won't be criminal charges.
But if he doesn't pay that, then obviously they could pursue him.
So
that makes sense. It's unfortunate, but it makes sense.
I wonder.
So that was from the Mirror, which is a UK publication.
The Guardian said basically the same thing. I wonder if it even hurts him at all. I kind of feel like it won't.
I really hope that she leaves him. That's my only.
How old are their kids?
I don't know. I mean, if they've been together since 2008 and they have 4 kids, I'm guessing they're similar ages to my kids.
Let's see here. Wikipedia. The internet we were promised. I'm not donating to you, Wikipedia. If you're watching this, go donate to Veteran Wiki for Giving Tuesday. We will much appreciate you. Let's see here. Early life, professional career, 2014. Jeez. His is very political endeavor.
Well, that political endeavor is definitely over.
Yeah.
Hopefully all the endorsements continue to back out.
Oh my gosh. Look at this. Beats by Dre, which is Apple, Monster Energy, Reebok, Bud Light, Burger King, Musgrave, IO Interactive, Super Value, Cost Cutter, Centra. And that's just endorsements. Then you got clothing, alcohol and business, acting, blah, blah, blah. Personal life. There we go. Driving offenses, accusations of racism, incident at Bellator 187, bus attack at UFC 223 Media Day, incident at UFC 229, Dublin
Our case.
case, aftermath Florida robbery arrest,
Oh, wow.
Dublin pub arrest,
So he's a really good guy, obviously.
Corsica arrest, attack on Francisco Fascinetti,
Attack on a yacht. Miami Heat. Another assault.
Jeez, and 2023 Miami police restroom.
But then it was just dropped on the 18th of October, it says.
Yeah. Wow.
Because he probably paid them off.
That's so much. That's so much. I don't see
Yeah.
anything about his kids
All right.
unless we scroll right past it. That's wild.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even like that.
I already didn't have like the greatest opinion of him, but
Hit my elbow. That sucks. Ow.
but now I definitely do not have a good opinion of him.
Titling this section controversies. That's like things that might make people upset.
This is definitely more than controversial.
Yeah. We need a new name for controversies. We need a less ambiguous,
Offensive human.
dirty, rotten potato boy.
Okay. That sounds borderline racist, but okay.
Is it? I didn't.
He's Irish, and you called him a dirty, rotten potato boy. So that sounds
it could be
kind
Idaho.
of.
It could be Idaho.
That sounds kind of.
Could be Idaho.
Whatever.
So moving along, back to talking about
Your favorite buddy.
our buddy Mike Glover.
Your buddy.
I just typed, Mike Glover, and then I typed in Mike Glover arrest or arrested, and just saw what came up a couple times. Mr. Valhalla Boy keeps coming up again.
And keeps saying that charges are dropped.
Yeah. Which he's not wrong. He's just misleading because the case was in 3 separate courts.
Right.
Originally it was in 2 separate courts. There were the criminal charges and then the family court stuff. And then because he contacted her from jail,
Right.
it was sent to another court for that case specifically. So
And then also contacting several people to lie on his behalf. Wasn't that also an issue? Or was that not considered an issue?
I don't know. Who knows? So the cases with the state, the criminal cases, those, yes, were dismissed, not dropped. It's the terminology sounds similar, but it does matter.
Okay.
But it was on the pretense that it's in another court anyways. But the problem for us and for other people consuming and creating content in news articles and things like that.
The records are sealed.
Yeah. The family court stuff is sealed. For better or worse, it's sealed. It's a family matter. They're taken care of in a family court. How that turns out, we won't know probably for a while because that kind of stuff takes a long time. However, I pulled up his Instagram account
Okay.
because I had seen this right here. The first article that came up, or the first link that came up on Google, was him acknowledging the arrest roughly 4 months ago. Maybe this might be like the date might be wrong. It might be closer to 5 months ago.
Okay.
And when I did that, brought up this post, and then I was like, you know what? gonna look at the actual account and then, look at, so it's not scrolling now for whatever reason, but it did a minute ago. But then I went to the YouTube. What do you notice about all of these thumbnails on YouTube? So this is on Mike Glover Actual. This isn't on Fieldcraft. This isn't on, he's got like 6 channels, something like that. But this is like his personal vlog channel.
Okay.
What do you notice about all of these thumbnails right here without me scrolling?
Big smile on all of the pictures.
I don't know if you would call that a smile. He's talking and in sunlight and grinning. None of these are actual like posed thumbnails. It's just he grabbed an
image
still
from
of him emoting and gesturing.
So what are you getting at that I'm not saying?
Anywhere that you see a room that he's in, like not the ones where he's outside, but anywhere that you see a room, do you notice anything lacking? Notice how this one down here, this shelving system behind him, there's nothing on it.
Oh.
There's nothing over here on I guess there's a couple things, but it's kind of barren. There's no firearms in any of those thumbnails. That's 4 columns of 5 rows. That's 20 videos.
I literally would not have even thought to look, but because you know who this person is and what they do and everything, that's something that you're looking for.
In previous
now I feel really dumb.
In previous videos, specifically any of the ones where he's doing like police breakdowns, for example, what was the one in Texas a couple years ago?
So are you speculating that maybe he's not allowed to have firearms anymore?
I'm pretty sure that until the case is resolved, he's not allowed to still. We had said this previously, but I said that that's going to be one of the indicators, one of the tells for when, and this isn't him, this is from the thing in Pennsylvania. I'm not going to say what it was. So that's in the thumbnail, but it's not him.
Okay.
And the rest of these going back even this is 7 months, 7 months. So right around, no, that'd be before because it was May.
Yeah. So all of the ones from before look like they were professionally done and all the new ones look like he did them himself.
Yep.
It basically looks like you versus me.
Yeah, he has actual thumbnails.
I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
He has actual thumbnails prior to his life update video. And everything after that with, I guess maybe you can call that a thumbnail. Kind of. I mean, it's not good, but it's not a picture of him. So possibly no longer has a team doing his social media for him, and maybe, I don't know. It's all weird. So, but if you go back and if we hover over any of these, you can see like firearms and you can see crossbows and things like that in the shelves in the background. And now
it's completely
like this one right here.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing about that, like it looks like a media center, right? Because it's got like a door on this side and shelves on this side. This isn't the kind of guy who just doesn't have stuff. This is the kind of guy who people are sending him stuff to check out. There's stuff that he's buying. There's stuff that he's reviewing. There's always something going on, and he's still doing it. Mm-hmm. Maybe out of pocket to maintain the channel until things have settled. But for that to be completely empty like that is really weird.
That is really weird.
It makes it look like there was something there that he realized shouldn't be in the video and took it out of the video, out of the frame.
And there's no possibility that maybe he's in the process of moving or just moved, and this is like a transitional place. Everything's in boxes. I don't know. I'm just speculating as to.
I don't know. He's got a dirt bike inside of his house there.
That's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. These also are not angles that you see in those older videos. Mm-hmm. So if you go here, that's clearly a different place.
Right.
But I've never been to his office.
Right. I
don't know where he films any of his videos, if he has a dedicated space, their headquarters or what. Like none of us know.
Right.
At least we don't know because we haven't dug enough to find out. I'm sure he probably says it in videos. Hey, I'm back in my office, or I'm at Fieldcraft headquarters, or I'm here in my basement. Just people say that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So, but we're not going to go through his videos to find that out.
We're here in our living room.
Yeah. Yep. We are actually. Very true. So, but one of the things I would say, other than this one, because he's with the kids, and then I think there's one more with the kids.
I saw that
the
one.
camping.
Yeah.
With the bought Amazon's cheapest inflatable tent. So stuff like that trends really well. A lot of YouTube videos that I consume are like Amazon choice or whatever it's called versus the highest.
So are we supposed to start doing that now?
Sure.
I buy enough crap on Amazon already.
Yeah. We can put affiliate links for everything. We have it for the podcast. And
Do you guys want us to do that is the real question. Or would you be like, goodbye?
Well, everything that we use for the podcast was bought on Amazon, or it can be found on Amazon if it wasn't bought on Amazon.
True.
So, I mean, we do have a page on the site, but I haven't finished it yet. It's not published, but it has, here's what we have. If you ever want to recreate,
start your own podcast.
Yeah, here's what we use. So it makes it a little bit easier. It's more transparent. Like we don't have some secret sauce that nobody else knows about.
Secret sauce.
Yeah. So I don't know. The whole thing, like Kay said, is weird because it's sealed, but I think it's very telling that you go in here and there's no firearms in any of the videos anymore. He's not talking about firearms in any of the videos anymore. And I don't know, unless you actually look at the consistency of his uploads, it doesn't look like he deleted anything. Because these look like probably weekly. So yeah, I don't think he's deleted anything. But again, this was his vlog channel. This is where he like talks about stuff. I think he tried to podcast on this, but I think he also does have a podcast. I don't know. He's got way too much stuff going on. It's not what I wanted. Let's go to, where is there we go, on the home tab. So you got Mike Glover Show channel, Mike Glover Actual Stories channel, and then the Fieldcraft Survival channel. And then we're on the Mike Glover Actual channel. So there's Mike Glover Actual Stories, Mike Glover Show are all self-titled. So this is the podcast one. It's got Jocko on there. Stuff's been updated recently.
That looks more professional.
Picking up the pieces 2 days ago. The last thing before that, assuming these are in order, can you read the episode number on this one? Or is it in the thumbnail?
No. So it just says 4 months ago. The other one says 2 days ago. So there was a big jump there.
Yeah. He's calling this an episode and it's 20 minutes long. Or 17, 18 minutes long versus hour, whatever. So I think it'll really jump out if he's in content. So he can be in a video where somebody else has firearms.
He's just not supposed to actually touch it himself.
Yeah, basically. Can't be in possession of. And being in possession of is literally physically in possession. So going from that
to your other buddy.
This juicy new little story.
Juicy stolen valor.
Yeah. So,
which obviously we have been told that people like to throw that name around or that phrase around.
Well,
so
as Anthony said, and he's on a hiatus from social media right now.
Interesting.
He's got some family stuff going on. If you guys know who Malcolm Nance is and all of that stuff, he's doing like an investigation, helping out with that. They're putting money in escrow. I think there's going to be a debate between him and somebody else. They're both putting up $25,000 and it's going to go to charity or something.
What?
The guy that wants to debate against Nance already put up his $25,000 and Anthony is in possession of the money in escrow right now.
What?
That was the update that he came back to Twitter to make because I hadn't seen him post in a while. And so I looked it up and then he hadn't posted anything and it was like an hour later. So he hadn't posted in like 7 days and I went to his profile and there was nothing new. And then I was just casually scrolling and he had come back in that period of time. was like, here's what's going on. I have 25 grand in escrow right now for this debate, and I don't know who the other guy is.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay. That's wild. Are you going to watch, listen, tune in? How is it even going to be broadcast?
I don't know. They don't think, he said he's been in touch with Nance's people, but I don't think it'll happen. This is the same guy that I told you on his gravestone. He didn't even put his wife's full name on it.
Oh, It's that person?
Yeah, just her first name when she was born and when she died, and then it says something along the lines of, she was the wife of an American spy. Who the fuck does that?
I could see you doing that to me.
No. Anyways, so r/army, the army subreddit.
Mm-hmm. Is that your favorite subreddit?
Actually,
I feel like it is.
No, my favorite subreddit is unsubscribed subreddit. Their subreddit
Why?
is off the chain. Like it is
Off the chain?
Yeah.
Are we in 1992 again?
Yeah, bringing it back. So theirs is essentially people just constantly either memeing the show or making memes that they want to see on the show.
Okay.
And so the stuff that's in there is genuinely really funny. It's really, really funny. Really
Gotcha.
good. Very.
How's our subreddit going?
It's okay. There's no way to see who actually follows it. You can just see the number. Mm-hmm. So there's people that follow it, but that's all I know.
Does anybody post anything in there except for you?
Yeah, they interact periodically.
Interesting.
So from the Army subreddit, and I'll try and speed through this because we're already at 35 minutes. UFC veteran and Army Ranger. He's also special operations. So I don't know what the person who wrote this does or doesn't know, but UFC veteran and Army Ranger Tim Kennedy fabricated stories and stole valor in his book. And then when you go to...
And the book came out 2 years ago?
2022, summer 2022.
So right? Yeah, 2 years ago.
So this article is from Calf Kicker. I guess.
I don't know.
Guess it's another...
Online...
It's like I think it's a kickboxing UFC kind of thing.
Okay.
Joe Rogan was one of many prominent figures who helped promote Tim Kennedy's book. Mm-hmm. Rogan not only endorsed Kennedy multiple times on his show, he also wrote a glowing endorsement. So I do want to say that the endorsements that you see on Amazon and stuff were not actually written by those people. They are written by Nick Palmisano with their permission. They did not write any of that themselves.
Ooh.
And so this is not an uncommon thing. I'm just telling you that this happens for every product and book and service. It's the first couple ones are friends, family, and paid for.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
spilling all the nitty-gritty.
It's a fact. That
most people don't know.
Right.
Most people don't know that fact.
When you get something that's autographed, it's not autographed by the person that, unless you physically are there, where they're signing autographs, like a book signing where they're physically present, unless they are there, the chances are that you got something that was genuinely autographed are basically zero. It's going to be their team, their ghostwriters, their editors, their chief of staff, their whatever. It's not them actually doing it. So that's also why that stuff isn't really valuable. It's intimately valuable to the person who buys it or is given it,
right?
But there's no real value when you go to try and resell it. And people think, oh, I have a signed version. Okay.
So do
10,000 other people. So Rogan became visibly emotional talking about Kennedy's claimed experiences, particularly in Afghanistan result. So they did go there. They were part of that. That's true. Mm-hmm. A lot of other people that were there were not happy with them being there.
Gotcha.
They were stepping on toes. I do know some stories from the people that were on the ground that they say they were interfered with. I wasn't there. I've heard both sides. And I've heard, actually, this is more than two sides. I've heard 3 sides of the same story.
Interesting.
So Special Forces veteran and former UFC star Tim Kennedy has been exposed for fabricating significant portions of his military experience, service record, and combat experience in his book, Scars and Stripes, according to multiple firsthand sources who served with him. Now, let me also add on to the benefit of Tim and Nick, and I can't remember if it was Simon & Schuster who put the book out. To their benefit, this has to go through DOD and other channels for approval to make sure there's nothing about an operation that isn't declassified yet, to make sure that anything that's important for U.S. strategic operations, public relations, things like that, it has to go through an approval process. It did go through and get approved by DOD, Department of Army, probably Special Operations Command. Okay. I don't know for a fact all the channels that it went through, but I do know that it does have to. Usually the publisher handles a lot of that. They send it off to their people that they already have, rapport with. It's not Nick going out and sourcing and saying, hey, give this to the green light. It's going through official approval. Right. So the podcast host spoke with Kennedy's Ranger School instructor who confirmed he was not distinguished honor graduate of his class. Okay.
Is that like saying I was valedictorian, but really I was salutatorian? Is that like the minor detail? Or
Yeah. In fact, his peer evaluations were so low during mountain phase that he nearly got recycled. I've explained this kind of on the show. So there's a couple different reasons why you can be kicked out and or recycled. It can be medical reasons. You could have an allergic reaction and you might have to come back in the winter months. You might have trench foot or frostbite in the winter months and have to come back in the summer months. If you are overlapping, because there are clear hard cut dates, March 1st and October 1st.
Gotcha.
So if you're like right on that line, you can stay and just join back with the next class. There's also your peer evaluations, which are exactly how they sound. All of your peers will go through and they evaluate each other on your ability to follow orders, do what you're supposed to, do what you're told, your ability to lead.
What were your peer evaluations like?
Mediocre. I mean, you're droning the entire time, so you're trying to do your best.
Droning?
Because you're not eating, you're not sleeping, it's...
So that's not some huge tell, having low peer evaluations.
Well, so specifically, actually, while I was working there, my squad leader had gone to selection for special operations twice. He's a medic who's tabbed Ranger, Sapper. Sapper is the Combat Engineers leadership school that's similar to Ranger School. It's just you learn how to blow stuff up. Jump Master. So he's like the very, very hua guy is what we'll call it. High speed. And he went to selection and failed out twice. And it was basically simply because he wasn't a good team player.
Gotcha.
They didn't want him to be there, so you're not going to be there. You could be the best shot. You could be the best at land navigation. You could be the best at operating a piece of equipment. But if nobody likes you, none of it matters.
That makes sense.
So that could be what this is. It could simply be that nobody liked him. They didn't think that he carried his weight. They didn't think, and I don't know, I wasn't there, but presumably this came from somebody real. Your peers were so low in mountain phase that you almost got recycled over your peers. So another specific thing to consider here is that the RIs and the PIs from Ranger School do not go with you between the phases. So your cadre at 4th at Benning phase and Rap Week, which is the first couple days, are one set of instructors in cadre. When you go to mountains, they're a completely different set. When you go to Florida, it's a completely different set yet again. So anybody that was in Georgia would not know what happened what happened in Benning. They wouldn't know what happened in Dahlonega. People in Dahlonega wouldn't know what happened in Florida.
Gotcha.
So this specifically, I would assume, either was somebody who went through the class with him or was specifically in Dahlonega at 5th. That would be my guess. If
it really narrows down the people for him to reach back out to.
Yeah.
Hey, shitbag.
If you lie about being distinguished honor grad of Ranger School, what else are you willing to lie about? The host questioned. Who's this host? What is this? The podcast host. What podcast hosts? It just says the podcast. What podcast? The podcast host emphasized that graduated Ranger School itself is an impressive achievement, making the apparent embellishment unnecessary. The truth was good enough, noted one of the hosts. You went to Ranger School. Just talk about that. He was the best at sniper school. Never mentions in the book that he failed sniper school the first time. Talks about how great he is in... Sorry, my contact. I have torque lenses and it's like twists. And looking past this, my vision keeps going blurry. It talks about how great he is as an assaulter. Never talks about how he failed SF art, the initialism of all time. Don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. Kennedy's failure at sniper school and subsequent omission from his narrative reflected broader issues, tendency to erase and downplay setbacks in favor of self-aggrandizing accounts, which so many people do that, and it's unrelatable because it makes you look like a superhero. And people, when they read your failures and setbacks, they like the story of perseverance. They think it's a better story. They think you're a better person for it. Oh, you sucked, but you came back. You pushed through it, whatever.
That makes sense.
And I'm not saying that Tim didn't want that in the book. I'm saying that Nick probably removed it from the book. Or the editors removed it from... Somebody removed it from the book. It was probably in there. This is just I'm trying to play both sides here, right?
I can see that from the moment you started talking.
Okay. The investigation focused primarily on Kennedy's account of 2008 resupply mission to Firebase Anaconda in Afghanistan, Uruzgan province. According to publicly available information, the 2008 resupply mission to Firebase Anaconda was part of a larger ongoing conflict in the region. The Firebase Anaconda served as a strategic outpost, frequently targeted by Taliban forces due to its significance. The mission aimed to sustain the firebase under hostile conditions characterized by persistent Taliban attacks. In one high-profile engagement, Taliban attempted a rare direct assault on the firebase, which was repelled with significant air and ground support, resulting in over 20 insurgent fatalities. Coalition forces suffered no casualties. Key fabrications uncovered include claims he was hit by shrapnel, requiring medical attention. In reality, DD-214 shows no Purple Heart, and there are no records or evidence of this injury. That's actually a big deal. It would be worse if he claimed a Purple Heart, but I've never heard him specifically say that. Mm-hmm. So this is another, you're teetering. Mm-hmm. Like, okay.
It's not technically stolen valor because he didn't claim.
Yeah. Claims he operated independently without supervision. Reality, he was the most junior member of the team and directly supervised. I don't know what part of the book that was in. I actually didn't even fucking read the book. Promoted it and I did not read it at all. Didn't read a single page. I know that Alex Pokey is in the book a couple times, but that's because he told everybody. That's all I know. Claims he verbally dressed...
The same Alex who got a DOI?
Yeah.
Oh, what a good guy.
It was about them wrestling at the office, the Ranger Up office or something like that.
Okay.
Claims he verbally dressed down the ground force commander, Travis. Reality, this never happened, and Tim had to record an apology video admitting this was false. Claims he threw 25 grenades into one building. Reality, this didn't happen. I don't even know anybody that would have 25 grenades on them for any reason.
I'm just picturing a cartoon
Fucking
scene
Rambo.
at this point of just like...
Okay. So there's a trope. There's a trope in action movies where the protagonists never have to reload. They're just shooting. Mm-hmm. They never run out of ammo. You never see them load. Deadpool you do because it's dramatized and like he's doing a backflip while he's doing it.
Right.
But for the most part, if you go watch like The Expendables or something like that, you're never going to see a character reload.
Okay.
Unless it has something to drive the plot.
Meaning of I'm on my last round.
Yeah. Or it was in that moment that I was reloading that somebody got me or what, something like that. So claims he used a Shytac 408 rifle. Reality, this weapon was never issued to Special Forces units. Claims he shot 20 enemy fighters from a tower over 3 days. Reality, no teammates could verify any confirmed kills from the tower. Claims he was with Mike Keller at a compound door. Then changes the story to being with Mike Goebel in other tellings. I don't know who either of these people are, so sorry. Can't give you any insight on that. The podcast obtained Kennedy's DD-214 military record, which notably lacks a Purple Heart, despite Kennedy claiming in his book that he was wounded by shrapnel foes. So, okay, I do want to say one other thing. Your DD-214, while being your end-all, be-all, especially for your benefits and for potential jobs and things like that, it's not always right. There are often times where things are not on it, and you do have to have it amended. But to not do it, and he's been out for a significant period of time, is pretty telling that he probably never was awarded one. So he would have the award letter. He would actually have the physical award, signed documentation, everything like that. It's just not on his DD-214. So I'm going to say that he doesn't have one. He hasn't claimed one. So really, it's kind of a non-issue. Who cares? Maybe he did take shrapnel. Maybe he did. He's not claiming a Purple Heart.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter. Somebody's going to get big mad about that, but it doesn't matter. He's not claiming it. It's not stolen valor if you don't claim it.
Right.
This guy is the biggest look at me guy. He takes pictures of himself everywhere he goes. Okay. Again.
That's self-promotion though.
But okay, again, going back to talking about business and nonprofits and everything like that. If you are not constantly telling people what you're doing, they don't know what you're doing.
This is true.
So he has been told to do that because now people know, oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're promoting this. Oh, you're raising money for this. If you don't do it, you're not going to get as much money. What that difference is, I don't know. Somebody's probably done research on it. There's probably some math about it, but it's just a fact of life. It's something that if you don't do it, people aren't going to know. People don't know that your nonprofit exists. People aren't going to donate money. People aren't going to support your business. You have to be talking about it ad nauseum. And it sucks because it's annoying even to the person doing it.
I can attest to that.
This guy,
I'm terrible at it.
So this guy, they said he would stop and pose with his sniper weapon. This guy has so many pictures of himself, it's not even funny. Like, part of this just sounds like somebody who
is a hater.
I wouldn't even say hater. It's just somebody that's like fed up with it. They're fed up with the grifter bros, the gun tubers, like all that kind of stuff.
But if you're so fed up with it, then just turn it off.
Yeah. I would love to know who Calf Kicker is though. And you think this guy who makes everything about himself, he made the Hurricane North Carolina about himself. He made the Afghan pull out about himself. Yeah. I mean, there were some politicians behind that as well. I don't know if I can say their names because I'll probably get a letter.
You saying even that word.
Yeah. So like they spun up Save Our Allies for that, and then stuff with Eastern Europe. We'll just say that. Mm-hmm. And some other things. And that was also what they brought, because he doesn't even live in North Carolina. He lives in Texas.
Gotcha.
But Nick lives here in North Carolina.
Right.
And our buddy Tansy was out there as well. And Tansy probably would have gone no matter what. But I have a suspicion that Nick influenced him to post about it and talk about it a lot in promotion of his book that's coming out next month. every bone in my body believes Eric would have been there no matter what. Those same bones acknowledge that he was posting about it because he was told to. Yeah, the guy with the purple heart and that's the type of guy who's going to hide a purple heart. Yeah, right. He doesn't have tons of pictures of himself. If this really happened, he would have pictures of his injuries. Not necessarily, not 2008. There's stuff they're talking about. There's no real evidence. This article is mostly somebody ranting. Key falsehoods about the actual mission from Tim Kennedy's account of events in Afghanistan. Claim there were Iranian fighters present. Multiple teammates confirmed there were no Iranian forces. Claims there were only 80 trucks in the convoy. Reality, there were nearly 200 vehicles. Claims they lost 60 trucks and only 20 made it to the destination. Reality, they lost 23 trucks total, with 156 vehicles successfully completing the mission. Claims drivers were killed in firefights and abandoned vehicles. Reality, no drivers were killed and none abandoned their vehicles. Claims they had to throw vehicles off mountains with wreckers. Reality, this never happened. Claims drivers sabotaged radiators with screwdrivers. Reality, this never happened. Claims Firebase Anaconda had no snipers. Reality, the ODA team there had multiple qualified snipers. Claims Firebase Anaconda was overrun 3 times with hand-to-hand combat inside the wire. Reality, there was only one attack, and that attack never breached the wire. A second attempt failed on an observation post. Claims he saw a corpse hanging from a tree. Reality, this would be against local customs. No other witnesses saw this. Claims the ACU uniform was effective camouflage in Afghanistan. Reality. If he claimed that the ACU was effective camouflage, he was trolling. That's the digital shit pattern. Yeah, nobody liked that pattern. Nobody is actually saying that that's a good, legitimate pattern. So I bet in that excerpt he was being sarcastic.
Do you find him to be a sarcastic human? And that he would add sarcasm to... Nick wrote the book.
You have to think in this in terms of Nick, not in terms of...
I don't find him to be sarcastic, though.
He tries.
I don't find him to be sarcastic, though, so...
Well, he tries to be funny. He tries to slip in, like, dad humor, whatever you want to call it. So apparently there was some discrepancies with him going on Jocko. Army veterans were questioning Jocko Willink's decision to platform Tim Kennedy after evidence emerged of Kennedy fabricating combat stories. Veterans are now asking why Jocko Willink, a former Navy SEAL who has hosted Kennedy multiple times, did not better vet these stories before providing him his platform.
So Jocko has a podcast?
Yeah, Jocko is like one of the biggest podcasts.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's like obviously Rogan, Jocko, Sean Ryan, who's Nick's cousin.
Okay.
Or something long. They have the same last name, but John, oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name? My buddy down in Florida, used to work for the news, used to be on NYPD. Can't think of it. Anyways, John and I, when we had a conversation about it, he's the one that told me what his last name was. And I was like, I wonder if they're related. And I looked it up and it said they are, but I don't know if the source was reputable. So,
okay. But you can't even remember your friend's name.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Your poor brain.
My poor brain. So, yeah, video, UFC veteran.
So when did people start asking Jocko specifically?
What did he say? It doesn't say. It just, people are saying.
When were they starting to call him out? Because if this book came out 2 years ago and this just came out on this morning on Reddit, and then when did this podcast come out?
I can't even find, I don't know what this podcast is supposed to be.
Right, I understand that. But I was just, when is it published? When was this published?
Yesterday?
Okay.
Today. No, today.
Okay, so if he's been on Jocko multiple times and it was said at the end of this article, when did people start asking Jocko, why didn't you vet him better? Why are you endorsing him? So this has obviously been going on for a little while. We're only just now hearing about it today. Mm-hmm. But obviously neither of us follow Tim Kennedy personally because just I have no interest in.
Well, he and Mike are like the same person.
But burn. In all aspects or only in the work life aspect?
So there is a podcast from yesterday. It's episode 101 of whatever this show is. The Anti-Hero podcast, who has 73,000 subscribers. And that's apparently where the story came from.
Okay, then why don't you reach out to this Anti-Hero podcast?
I will. Just follow them or subscribe to them on YouTube.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
Anti-hero.
So it's called
like
episode 101, Tim Kennedy, The Book of Lies.
Ooh. So, burn. Yeah. They're getting dirty.
The boys break down Tim Kennedy's book, specifically the chapter about his resupply convoy to FOB Anaconda. Brent, a former Green Beret and Delta Force operator, explains how 98% of what Tim claims happened on the battlefield did not happen. Oof.
That's pretty big.
So
that's a pretty reputable source as long as they were together and he can. Right?
Those guys have such a small, tight-knit community that they generally know each other, maybe not well, but they know of each other.
Right.
And they generally know the majority of the details. They might not know the finite details. Mm-hmm. They might not know the exact second something happened.
Right, of course.
But they're going to know pretty much the vast majority of it. And if this person is saying you're a bullshitter, then he's probably not the only one. Yep.
Good to know. Okay. So it's good that you continued your dive. So that way you could put a name to that article that you were reading.
Yeah, I'm gonna message, or I'm gonna comment on their video, but I will put a link to that video in the description of this video on Monday. I have to remember, I have to go start writing that now. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you guys tired of people
being grifters?
People like me? Are you just tired of people like me?
I'm tired of people like you.
No, you're not.
That tired us.
Let us know what you think if Conor paying $250,000 is enough.
I really want his wife / fiance / girlfriend to leave him. That's the bare minimum that I need to see happen. She needs to pack those children up and peace on out of there. Okay.
You heard Nona's opinion. And then we have some guests coming up over the next couple weeks or so. I can't say for certain when the episodes will come out. We're still scheduling with a couple people. We've got a local friend of ours that's going to come on and talk about something we talked about a couple of episodes ago because she was a victim of it. We also have the lectern guy at some point coming on. We've got John and Lindsay Salter, which will probably come out in about maybe next week. But from when you guys are watching this, John Cardillo was his name. That's who I was thinking of.
Good job remembering your friend's name.
Yep. So yeah, check back, drop a comment, let us know who else you'd like to see. When this video comes out, the subscriber giveaway should have ended as well. So there will be an update.
So we're going to be really sad if we're not over 2,000 followers.
I will put in Tuesday's episode, I will put a snippet in the video so that if we pre-record an episode for Tuesday, we'll still be able to.
We're definitely pre-recording because we're doing another episode today, Andrew.
All right. So we're doing another episode today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, follow us all over social media. The links are in the descriptions wherever you're at. The links are there. Find where you want to follow us and engage with us. We'd like to hear your thoughts on the stuff that we talk about.
And I'm currently bracing myself for all the hate that we're going to be getting from Mike Glover addicts and everybody who's still standing for Tim Kennedy.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye. Bye.